Good morning, traders. Today is July 9th, and we are making our daily recap for the day. Today was a no trade day. There was only one trade I took, a very small loss, and I generally consider that as a no trade because it was negligible in terms of P&L. But this morning was very, very slow. There was nothing really moving in the market. The only thing really worth mentioning was VRAX, and I'll break down why. So very recently, VRAX has a 1 for 25 reverse stock split. Typically, very bearish news. Why? Because there's no reason for this stock to need a reverse stock split unless it needs some sort of compliance with NASDAQ. So that happened. 7:30, news drops, and let me check with Gemini. So this is what happened. They announced an exclusive multi-country supply agreement with Fosun Diagnostics for Immune Select profiling line. The deal establishes immediate product supply and purchase orders across South Asian markets. So, short term, Gemini thinks this news is bullish. But long term, we don't even need to really look that far. Very, very bad news. This stock has next to no cash flow, very strong downtrend, reverse stock split, tons and tons of bag holders. There is nothing in the stock worth keeping. But the market is staying very, very irrational right now and is very, very bullish on this news. It's driven by, I want to say, a somewhat decent catalyst. I don't think it's very strong. This one will definitely roll over. It's just a matter of when. The main issue is there's nothing in the market today. So if there's nothing in the market, you also have to look at the conditions that are presenting this trade. Because there's nothing else in the market, momentum traders, long buyers are going to pile in on this stock because it's the only one moving twice as hard, 3 times as hard. They're going to jump in on the first thing that moves. So let's break down what I saw. 7:30, news drops. I see his push. I didn't like this push because this was a solid green bar. Next candle, another solid green bar. And I'm thinking there are a lot of people trapped here. Typically, if you look at the type of stocks that I like to trade, like for example, WFF, this was yesterday's stock. I like solid green bars, but there has to be some rejection, some form of weakness that you can pile into. If you don't see that, the stock can definitely continue to run. So let's break down VRAX quickly because it's still live. Let's look at the stock. I initially considered taking a short around the $6 range. And I'm sure a lot of people were thinking the exact same thing. But there's a big problem though. You can see there's an ascending support. And now what does this look like? It looks like a classic bull flag. I'm not really big on patterns, but this setup was so obvious to me that I was so hesitant to take this short. And it was a very good thing that I did. Very good thing that I sat on the sidelines today and did not engage. Because if I did, I would have been one of these people short squeezed up here. Now, let me break down why I consider taking a short. This is the TradeZero platform. As you can see, I lost $24 today. This is a 10-second chart that I saw. So this was 7:33. Now, if you see this consolidation on the 5-second, you can see a massive push into 750, but an immediate rejection. That's what I typically look for. I need to see there is a point of attack. And this was it. But you have to remember we're watching this on a 5-second chart. So my initial analysis was there's a lot of people piling in short. They're rejecting 750. And they push it down to about 535. That's $2. That's a $2 drop. I was trying to pile in on that momentum because you got to remember, in 20 seconds, this thing dropped $2. I was thinking about the $6 consolidation and just risking maybe like 650. There is no real risk level on this 5-second chart, and the float is only 800,000 shares. But I have been so familiar with all of these tickers because VRAX is not a new ticker. they've been around for a long time, and they've been diluting their stock for a very long time. So I'm very familiar with what these tickers like to do. I considered taking a short, and good thing I didn't, because although the 5-second chart says there is a chance, there is some potential for you to consider, the 1-minute chart tells a different story. You see all these tails at the bottom holding the VWAP? So this is what I saw at the time. I'm like, this is still grinding up. The only way I can take this, if I see a big drop and then a push back up. And obviously that didn't happen. It just went higher and higher and higher. So this here caused a short squeeze. This was a massive consolidation. 800,000 float consolidating in this range, where the average 5-minute candle, you can see over here, is about 500,000 to 2 million shares. It's not pretty. Shorts are squeezed, stock is still up over 100%, and it's going to continue higher. And that's what happened. So, am I sure the stock will roll over? Oh, yeah. I think a lot of traders will agree with me that this not a stock that you want to invest your money in, but for a momentum play in the short term, it's very, very viable right now. The only issue with these type of tickers that I've noticed from my years of trading is that when it does roll over, you'll never see it coming. There's gonna have to be a liquidity grab and trap more short sellers, or take out early short sellers and trap long traders before they finally dump. Because you have to remember, this float is 800,000 shares. If they dump 800,000 shares right now, assuming they can even find the shares, it's not going to go very far. Long traders are going to see that as a dip buying opportunity. They're going to have to push it higher, trap breakout momentum traders, take out early short sellers, and then they're going to flush it. And even if you look at the level 2 right now, it's very, very slow. For a stock with momentum, I mean, I don't want to say this is dying down because this chart looks ugly for a short. It's holding, push, and it's consolidating. There's a lot of holding, and it's consolidating above this pivot, 822, 825 by 829. So there is a lot of different things. And you can see the body of these candles. They are very, very small. Okay, this range is being compressed. Like, you see this topping tail, and you see this doji here. Obviously, context matters because this doji here is not that strong, but it does tell you a story that they are holding this consolidation above $8. And the pivot around this 820 level, also consolidating. So, if you think about this from somebody who wants to short this and dump a lot of shares, they have to dump above $8, below $8. But they cannot do it because A, there's not enough flow. They can't, if they take 100% of the flow, they themselves are going to cause a short squeeze. Look at the body of these candles and look how concise this range has become. This is a very, very dangerous trap. I've seen this before. Anything can happen. There's 22 million shares on the day. I really, really don't like this. I'm not trading it. And there's a reason why. I don't have stats to back it up. I look at the layout, I look at the chart, and I say, this looks terrible. And because it doesn't look good, I don't even want to try to understand it and trade it. I'm willing to bet the borrow fees on this stock is going to be tremendous. 70 cents to borrow. There is no way I am paying 70 cents to borrow. I'm going to click cancel before I accidentally click something I regret. This stock with such a low float, compressing range, near the day high, and holding, very, very dangerous trap for everybody. It's not a stock that I would even consider. There is no volatility now. Look at this. It's a 1 or 2 cent spread for an $8 to $9 stock that just went up almost 300%. And it's not moving. It looks really, really thick. Like, we know it's not. We know it's a very low flow, but the way it's behaving, look how small these candles are. I mean, I just wouldn't even touch it. Like, the best thing to do, if there's no clean setup on the long side or short side, walk away. Okay, next I'm going to talk about SUNE, SUNE. This ticker, I also borrowed the shares, but I opted not to trade. And the reason is because there was no real range. A push from $1.80, $2 on no volume to 285 in the after hours of yesterday's close, pulls back to 245, holds 250, 260. Now, what does this tell me? It tells me there's a lot of people trapped in this range. This one was much cleaner to understand, but it's still not a ticker I wanted to trade. So I held this range, pulls back 225, 227, and most people who are in this, they can probably see there is no range. And this is probably the reason why they exited. And on this push and retest of this 260 pivot, it just rolled over. I decided to let it go. And the last one was VRAX. This one rolled over, but I took a small loss. You can see I got in 586, got out 592. I saw this breakdown the first time, it didn't work. Pushed back up $6, rejected it. Came back down to 587, and there was about a 7 to 8 cent spread. I didn't market the order, but essentially I did. I just put a really low limit price and told the broker to fill me at any price. I really expected the stock to kind of fade, but it kind of held this level. So I just got out. I only had 400 shares. I realized my mistake. If I held it, I'd probably only be green about 10, 15 cents, $40, $50. But the main issue was I made a really big mistake that I should not have traded this stock. First, these 3 candles, they fit my setup. The problem is there's no volume associated with any of them. 30,000 shares, 25,000 shares, 85,000 shares in these 3 candles. Now, with no volume, and it holds this top, I thought, well, it's probably going to fade. And when it fade, it'll fade hard. But I missed the daily chart. This ticker has over 180 million float. There's volume traded every single day. Because of that, there are long traders, short sellers, swing traders everywhere in this chart. This move on no volume means absolutely nothing. I have no idea where anybody is. I could try to pinpoint a support and resistance level, but because it has 180 million float, and this move happened on no volume. I mean, we can see that it doesn't like 620, maybe $6, but it's gonna be so slow, and it's not worth the trade. It's really not worth it. When you take a trade, you want a high quality setup that you understand. And I understand this. I understand that we should not have taken this trade. That's why I got out. Small loss, but I got out. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.